Earlier today, Alabama postponed a 2026 non-conference game against a quality opponent and replaced them with a cupcake. Is Texas about to do the same thing? There's a chance. Let's talk about it next on Locked On Longhorns. Intro.
You are Locked On Longhorns, your daily podcast on the Texas Longhorns. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're Locked On to the Texas Longhorns, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network. I'm your host, BK, Brad Kellner, Texas grad, Austin local, and longtime sports radio host here in the Lone Star State. Thank you for making Locked On Longhorns a part of your day every single day. Today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. It has begun. We were all curious what was going to happen to non-conference scheduling if Texas was left out of the college football playoff, and we didn't even have to get to the official bracket before schedule changes started coming down. Heck, we didn't even have to get to the penultimate college football playoff rankings before schedule changes are being made. And Texas, the team that's about to get screwed by the college football playoff committee, isn't the team making the first move. No. It's Alabama. Earlier today, the Crimson Tide announced that they are postponing their 2026 game against South Florida and replacing them with Chattanooga. Chattanooga is an FCS team. And South Florida, by the way, is an Ohio State. They're not even a Power 4 team, and they just lost their head coach to Auburn. Yet, Alabama is still replacing them with a much, much easier opponent. And I think we all know why. Alabama was left out of the college football playoff last year with a 9-3 record, and they weren't too happy about that. They're seeing another SEC team get left out of the college football playoff at 9-3, and the Crimson Tide are making sure that that's not going to happen to them again next year. They're not looking out for Texas. They don't care about Texas. They're looking out for themselves. They're seeing what's happening around the country. More specifically, they are seeing what's happening around the conference, and they are doing what they need to do to ensure that they aren't going to get left out because they're playing tougher non-conference games than everybody else. They already have Florida State on their schedule, and we know the SEC is requiring at least one non-con game against a Power 4 team or Notre Dame. So the Crimson Tide aren't going to cancel that, and hey, why would you? Florida State's one of the worst Power 4 teams. I know they beat Bama in Week 1 this season, but you'd rather play them than a majority of other Power 4 teams right now. But I do think if that SEC rule didn't exist, the Crimson Tide would be canceling the Florida State game too. In this instance, we're talking about South Florida. I mean, Bama should roll a team like South Florida every time they play, but there's more risk involved with playing against USF than there is with playing against Chattanooga, and the Crimson Tide just aren't taking any chances. We opened this morning's show discussing the possibility of Texas canceling upcoming marquee non-conference games against Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame. We had some sound from Steve Sarkisian's Monday appearance on the SEC Network. Now we've got more sound from the Longhorns head coach, who continues his media tour to try to vouch for Texas to get into the college football playoff. Earlier today, Steve Sarkisian was a guest on Sirius XM Radio, and, well, here's what he had to say when he was once again asked about the future of Texas's non-conference games.
And I get it. We scheduled Ohio State. We went and played that game. We lose 14-7. We get stopped inside the 5-yard line twice on 2 4th downs. We outgain them by nearly 200 yards. We lose 14-7. We lost the game. But they've beaten every other team they played on their schedule by 3 scores. And so at that point, it's like, why do we even play that game? Because if we're a 6-2 team, if we're a 10-2 team right now that played 4 top 10 ranked opponents with 3 wins still in the top 10, we're not even having a discussion right now. We're probably ranked 6th in the country in the CFP. We're not having a discussion. So my point is, why the hell am I going to play that game next year? For what? What good does it do me?
Why the hell am I going to play that game next year? For what? What good does it do me? Sark didn't hold back. And it's a fair question, not to beat a dead horse, since we've talked about this at least a dozen times since the Longhorns beat Texas A&M on Friday. But the Ohio State game is what's keeping Texas out of the playoff right now. 10-2 Texas with a 4-0 non-conference record, regardless of who those non-conference games were against, is in the playoff right now. No questions asked. Even with the loss at 4-8 Florida, even with the 25-point loss against Georgia, a 10-2 Texas team is in the playoff right now. And they're probably hosting a first-round playoff game as a top 8 seed. You heard Sark say that the Longhorns are probably number 6. Maybe they are. Maybe they're number 7. Maybe they're number 8. I don't know, but they are definitely in. And instead, here we are, just a few hours away from basically knowing that the Longhorns aren't going to be in the field of 12. That's tough. Next year, Texas has some tough games in the SEC. They've got to go to College Station to take on Texas A&M. They've got to go to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. They've got to go to Knoxville to play Tennessee. They've got Missouri on the road. They've got Oklahoma. They've got Ole Miss. They've got Florida. Tough schedule in the SEC. Obviously, going to a 9-game slate, life gets tougher for the Longhorns and every other SEC school. There's a chance Texas could lose 2 games in conference play next year with everything that they have on the table. And oh, by the way, the Longhorns have Ohio State in week 2. So this position we're in right now, we could be in this exact same position next year. Of course, we don't know what the college football playoff is going to look like in 2026. Could be 14 teams, could be 16 teams, but we could be in this exact same spot next year. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I want President Bush that line. I think I got that one right. I don't want the Ohio State and Michigan games to go away. Talked about that this morning, and I will reiterate that. They are so good for the sport. They are so good for the fans who care about the sport. I would love to watch the Buckeyes and Wolverines play at DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium. It'd be the first time for Ohio State since 2006. It'd be the first time that Michigan plays in Austin ever. I mean, Texas and Michigan have only played twice. They might meet again in a bowl game here in a few weeks. They've only played twice, one in the Rose Bowl in 2004, one in Ann Arbor a couple of seasons ago. I would love for the Maize and Blue to be playing a game in Austin. But with the way things are going with the College Football Playoff Committee, it's hard to argue too much in favor of keeping those games around. ESPN's Kirk Herbstreit tweeted out earlier today after the Alabama news dropped. He said, quote, "Get ready to see this happen all over the sport. If it's only about how many wins you have and not who you're playing or where you're playing, you're going to see every AD make these moves. Kiss meaningful non-conference games in late August and early September goodbye. Cupcakes moving forward till teams get to conference play." End quote. Yeah, I don't think he's wrong. I don't think Alabama is going to be the only team to make a move like this. And if Texas gets left out tonight, more importantly, if Texas gets left out on Sunday, we'll see if the Longhorns follow the Crimson Tide and replace a tough out-of-conference game with somebody easier. Now, the Longhorns still would need a Power 4 team or Notre Dame, so they can't do exactly what Bama did and throw Chattanooga on the schedule. But Purdue, Rutgers, Boston College, Syracuse, Oklahoma State, come on down. Hey, let's just replace OSU with OSU, right? That works. We'll take Oklahoma State. Hey, Baylor, you interested in playing Texas again? Let's get an old Big 12 foe on the schedule. I'm perfectly fine with that. They think they could win a bunch of games in the SEC anyways. Why not put someone in the Big 12? Colorado, Coach Prime. That'd be a fun storyline. Deion leading the Buffs to Austin. We'll take y'all too. I don't know. That news may be coming down before we know it. Again, Alabama, the first domino to fall, and there might be a few more depending on what happens with the college football playoff rankings tonight and then again on Sunday. I'll ask the same question. What say you? Do you want Texas to cancel the Ohio State game, the Michigan game, the home and home with Notre Dame coming up at the end of the decade? Do you want to keep those games on the slate? Are we headed towards an expanded playoff? How many teams should be in the playoff? I feel like 12 might be too much, but a lot of teams are going to be arguing in favor of more to get in because of what's happening to the Longhorns right now. Would love to get y'all's thoughts on everything. And again, we'll see if Texas and Ohio State still end up playing in the second week of the 2026 season. All right. If you made it this far, number one, God bless you. Number two, please remember to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share all of those great things. Really do appreciate y'all's continued support of Locked on Longhorns. We'll be back tomorrow to react to the college football playoff rankings. Also, plenty of National Signing Day conversation and a little Texas hoops. Big game coming up for Sean Miller's squad tomorrow night. That's all coming up on a Wednesday morning show. But that'll do it for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Until next time, horns up, mic's off. We'll see y'all soon. This is Locked On Longhorns. Oh, but before we go, shout out to our friends at Omaha Steaks. The holidays always feel a little easier when you already know the perfect gift. And Omaha Steaks makes it almost too simple. Whether you're treating yourself this season or sending something memorable to friends and family, Omaha Steaks delivers handcrafted perfection right to their door. And this week is the best time to jump in because their cyber sale is here and it's going on right now. And the deals are absolutely massive. We're talking 50% off site-wide plus an extra 20% off of select favorites during this cyber sale. The quality is unbelievable. The variety is underrated. It's not just steaks. They got burgers. They've got comfort foods. They've got full meals. They've got sides. They've got desserts. It's all there. Omaha Steaks, it's a gift that truly fits everyone, and you don't have to worry about getting anybody's size right or offending anybody. No, people love good food. So save big now. omahasteaks.com to take advantage of their cyber sale. And how about this? For an additional $35 off, use promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That's omahasteaks.com, promo code COLLEGE. Terms apply. See site for details.